go into them and, okay. In the first place, okay, if I were to be really arrogant about this, before Nuffnang actually existed, okay, there was no advertising for bloggers. Bloggers were considered pariahs of the market. And I can tell you a very early pioneer of the market who will confirm this is Xiaxue, for example. Everybody knows this. Nobody wanted to advertise with any bloggers. Because why? They say, hey, bloggers, we're scared of approaching them, we're scared. Now the market changed. Why? Because our people have gone out, day in, day out, captured, educated people, and beyond that, managed bloggers. That's number one. But in the second place, right, when you talk about harvesting, I mean, what do? There are functions in the company, for example, that we do to help them. Going out to sell, for example, having a sales force in each individual country is not an automatic system. It's a tough system whereby, why do I have officers in each individual country? Because I need sales staff. Sales staff need to go out and still approach the advertisers to buy. That's a cost. Back end, in terms of chasing the bloggers and making sure that you're coordinating their work, wow, I tell you, it's a damn difficult job. You see where I'm going? So obviously we take a cut of whatever they earn, but like I said, it's fair because there's a cost to the services that we provide. And as a company, I'm not a not-for-profit organization. Obviously I have to make a profit, otherwise it doesn't really make sense for me to do business. So it's not controversial at all in my opinion. Of course, along the way, bloggers might grow out of their skin and feel as though they're egotistical and, hey, I came here by myself. Hey, in actual fact, a lot of our bloggers start from zero and advertisers know nothing about them. Why? Data is not available. When you look at the blog, you don't know anything about the blog. But then I go out and I tell you, hey, this blogger is big, this is the data, right? And furthermore, right, I go out time and time again. After a while, it's self-perpetuating, they grow. I make the bloggers come in together as a community. I make them meet each other. Their traffic also grows. Valda, Beatrice. Xiaxue, Qiu Qiu. Xiaxue, Qiu Qiu, Sophie Vlog. For example, younger ones will know this. How? Through the platform which I have provided and which I have nurtured.
Till now, I've yet to see any questions from the floor. So perhaps if anyone would want to pose the questions right now, this would be a very good time. It's open to the floor right now till my next questions. Okay. So anyone, please. Sure, ma'am. First and foremost, just if I can have a mic to the lady over here. Can we have your just a short intro on yourself and which establishment you come from?
Hello, my name is Caitlin Nguyen. I'm with OMG, it's an Omni Marketing Group.
Hello.
Hi. So my question is, for your platform, do you have any requirements for the bloggers to remain on your platform? Do you specify they must be this active, they must maintain a certain number of page views, certain level of engagement with their audience?
We never tell the bloggers to do anything. So we never force them to do anything, ever. Even when it comes to accepting an advertising deal, we tell them that if you identify with the brand, if you're willing to accept the deal, go for it, for example. But we never even tell the bloggers to maintain the traffic. Of course, we encourage them to. So for example, with Xiaxue, I might say, hey, you haven't blogged for a while, right? Hey, maybe you should start blogging again. I might encourage her, but I will never tell her. In fact, I haven't had this conversation with her yet, right? So, at the end of the day, you see, it doesn't matter to me because I will only promote to the advertisers, the bloggers that have reach. That is the key strength of Nuffnang. Like a lot of smaller players out there, like competitors of ours today, what they are doing right now, for example, I can give you an example, I just listed out. Oh my, okay, it's one of our so-called competitors. What they do is that they go out for smaller bloggers. So they take the smaller bloggers, they band them all together and say, hey, OMG or whatever, we have a blogging strategy for you. Here, we have this group of bloggers. But qualitatively, there is no impact. There is no reach. Of course, one can also look at it in different ways. I mean, Is it content that you're after, or is it reach? These two things are not always, don't always come together. So for example, some people might say, hey, Xiaxue, she has bad content, but she's mass market. Nobody reaches Singaporeans like her. So you don't want to use? Okay, then you go for somebody else with nicer content that may not reach out to so many people, that don't resonate with the voices and the thoughts of Singaporeans. Yeah.
Back to the rewards and the motivation of bloggers. Well, bloggers are all, in my opinion, very opinionated group of people, and certainly not very easy to keep them under control. So, do you have in place certain control measures so that they meet the sponsors' objectives?
Very simple. No. If the advertiser has bought an advertorial with us, okay, the blogger has to accept the advertorial. Now, if they accept the advertorial, it has to be said that it is dictated what exactly is going to go into that space. You see? So it's just exactly like, and we make sure that it's declared, even though there are no laws in Singapore that make this the case. Even today, you will have the word there that says advertorial very clearly. It's just like on a magazine. If you see an advertorial, right, and it's demarked, or newspaper, it's the same thing. You'll know that that's an advertorial space that the person controls. So the blogger is still at liberties to choose whether or not they want to accept it. But when they accept it, they have to follow. If they don't, because that's a professional job really, what? The advertiser is just asking you to do copywriting. Okay? So you do copywriting and they're asking to use your space. So then, you should be professional about it and continue it. Like, that's how we control them. Like, ultimately, if you accept a job, and then, it's your choice, you accept already, so you say, okay, I take BlackBerry. But then don't you badmouth BlackBerry advertisement that they are paying you for, that hey, that's not alright. Then I will never use you again. You see? So I don't control them. They make their own choices, but I let them know that their choices have certain, responsibilities, duties. Like, in their editorial, it's entirely free, entirely their choice what they want to say, But also again, I'll give you another example. If they accept the editorial by BlackBerry, in the editorial they say good things, then after that, right, the next post they say bad things. That's not on also, what? Because you are clearly at odds with your own acceptance, routines, your own schedule, your own principles. Yeah.
Back to my rewards again.
Okay.
Now that you mentioned a lot on Xiaxue, so can you perhaps share with us, other than products that
discourage them from taking products.
Okay.
Again, when it comes to products, short of them needing it, okay, like for example, Xiaxue need house renovation, need a pram, these are practical things, But I always tell them, very simple. Nescafe come up to you, right? Can you bathe in their coffee? Cannot, right? Same thing. So clients also shouldn't be unrealistic about this, right? If if it's something that you need or that you want, it's a need, it's a want, and we'll actually actively go and seek for them. So sometimes, for example, the blogger might say, hey, I'm about to get married. I want to look for a honeymoon. My talent managers are out there right now looking for honeymoon for one of our bloggers. We already know when they're getting married. Everything come out already. When they're proposed to, when they're getting married, when they're having baby, we're the first to know. Right? So yeah, they will go and look for it. But other than that, I always tell them that, hey, the thing is, you gotta look for advertising is gonna be cash, cannot be barter. Everything is barter. Singapore likes to do that. Everything barter, we all die on.
So on an average, how much does a blogger takes in terms of
It's
cash
difficult to
incentive?
say because there's no average per se. It really depends. Everything is relative to your size. Like I said, we are a network that depends upon reach, depends upon impact. So if you have a big reach, then you earn more. If you have a small reach, then you earn nothing. You see where I'm going? So you could earn as much as let's say $100 a year, and that's what my blog earns if I get about 30 visitors a day. You get what I'm saying? Then okay earn $100 a year that's quite bad But there are other bloggers who earn properly 6 figures who actually get paid, you know, yeah.
That's quite a good deal, getting 6 figures just to block.
Again, like I said, you know, like this all relative. How do we set our rates? A lot of people also like to say, hey, wow, Nuffnang expensive, Nuffnang expensive. No, we're not expensive. How do I set the rates? Very simple. I set what is palatable to the advertiser according to the industry standard rates. For example, if you have a banner ad by Asia One or any other site, Channel News Asia, or like even relative social network sites, there's a CPM rate. You all know the CPM rate, right? In fact, I take the CPM rate, right? I normally halve it or I wanted it. And then after that, I give that rate to the blogger according to the number of impressions. So our campaigns regularly outperform our peers by double. Our click-through ratios are double or triple, for example. So I'm giving value. But when they say we're expensive, it means they don't want to pay at all. Right? That means I want bloggers for free. Not acceptable.
Okay, we being a marketing association, perhaps you can share with us how does Nuffnang advertising strategy differentiate from its traditional media?
I mean, first of all, we're digital, right? But beyond being digital, we're also social. So I think what differentiates us from everybody is the fact that we actually work directly with the influencers. So for example, if you go to like even Facebook, even though they're social, right? Like it's really an automated process that you're working with. But when we say social, we can come up with a lot of creative ideas, a lot of creative campaigns. The sky's the limit to see what we can do with our influencers to engage their audiences and beyond. Right? I mean, these are people who have skills as well, who might be able to design jewelry, might be able to design clothes, you know, like even draw. So they come up with a lot of interesting content that can be reproduced. So it's all about engagement for us. I think that the differentiation is that I always tell my people, hey, you know, we go out there and sell, right? You go out there and sell, and I scold them. When? I scold them when I see that it's just package A banner, package B sponsored post, package C this. No. It's got to be ideas driven. Everything is ideas driven. So it's really about the engagement with the blogger.
And Meg, you also have 4 other businesses, namely ChirpChirp.com, which is a online shopping mall based out of Singapore.
ChirpChirp.com is basically we have ChirpChirp, we have Rippleworks. Okay, ChirpChirp is, okay, basically we realized that as we moved on, right, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram all coming up. So ChirpChirp is exactly the same as Nuffnang because we have a pool of active social media users on these platforms whom we can use to spread brand messages. Effectively, for example, I give you, one Twitter user maybe has 20 followers lah, but I have 200,000. Immediately I got 4 million, right? For example. So we do have 200,000 influencers, and these are pools of users that we can actively influence. Of course, Facebook ain't too happy about this. Instagram also not too happy about this. But again, I think it's going to be quite difficult to stop because it is the individual's right, again, in a way, they can term it in their clause or whatever, but short of them coming out and declaring war on every single person here and saying that you cannot post this on your Facebook. Can you imagine Facebook saying that to you? You are not allowed to post this on your Facebook.